Evil Squid Comics podcast. We are part of the Collector's Maze Network.
Don.
Scott.
Andrew.
I read Exquisite Corpses, #1. It's written by James Tynion IV, otherwise known as Tiny Onion.
Really?
Art
Doesn't
by...
he do some other type of little book?
He does a lot of books.
I just thought there was something, though, that was out there that was kind of popular or had some...
Your favorite book, Scott, Something's Killing the
Children.
Children.
I know, Something's Killing the Children.
Yes. And every book after that's tied into that.
That is tied into that, exactly. This entire universe of
Actually,
things.
I don't think he writes all those.
Art by Michael
believe he does
Walsh, which
Michael
I've never
Walsh.
heard of. But,
Is that supersized? Looks thicker.
yeah, it was a $5 issue. It's a first issue, but I mean, it's like 48 pages at least.
Wow.
Whoa.
If not more.
What a bargain.
That sounds...
Yeah.
Really... How much did you say that was?
$4.99.
$4.99.
$5 for like almost 50 pages?
I know.
It's like 2
Woo.
issues for the price of one.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Back to the days of $2.50, man. You haven't seen
I
that
know.
in like, what, 20 years?
Probably.
So, this was the favorite thing. This was my favorite thing that I read this cycle.
Wow.
This cycle.
This whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Sure.
which
No,
is
it's all
new.
cool.
So, yeah. this was a blast. So, this is set now. But,
Now.
so...
In 2025.
Well, this book is very hard to describe. It's
Oh.
kind of like, well, it's not, but it's kind of like Hunger Games rolled into... all right, so the premise of this book is there are 13 families.
13.
They're the richest, oldest families in the United States. The backstory talks about how there were the 13 richest families in the United States back in 1775.
Okay.
Basically bought or took this country away from England, right?
Okay.
And they've been behind the scenes.
It's the big conspiracy, right?
Yes, they're the
The QAnon.
yes, they're the lizard people. They're the whatever. They're the people behind the scenes.
They're
making
sucking everybody
everything
else's
work.
DNA and making them live
Yes.
life.
What was the
And there's
thing in
13?
In 100 Bullets? What was that thing called?
Oh, I can't remember. They were families, though.
But they were families
Yeah.
that really ruled the world.
Yeah,
didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is. So there's 13 families. So every 5 years they get together
And kill each other.
and well they hire people to kill the other hired people from the other families.
Oh, okay.
So
The
it's like a
Lazaruses.
competition.
Remember that?
And so
Lazarus? They
whoever-
had like those families and they had their person who said,
whoever wins, they get to rule all of the families and make all the decisions for 5 years.
Oh, nice.
So it's a 5-year cycle.
Nice.
And there's also like
This sounds like a board game we've played.
right.
I know.
There's also like 13 there's cards. So every family draws a card and then they have to use like it's a rope or a knife or a gun or fire. And so
Are they all weapons?
Yes, each
Okay.
family they draw a card and they have to utilize that weapon.
Ooh. And they
So-
have to figure out which rooms the person was killed in.
Right.
They have to play a game of clues.
So the other part of this is they buy up a town.
Okay.
That has
They cut off
a courthouse.
they cut
and
off
has
all
a
communications.
school. And
It's like
It's like
the
Hunger-
Purge,
Yeah.
mixed with the Hunger Games, mixed with like 100 Bullets,
Sure.
mixed like so. They buy up this town,
Yeah.
they take it over, they cut off all communications, they surround it,
Okay.
and so the story starts out with this little town, and this guy meets with the sheriff of the town, and they pay him. He walks away with like $1 million.
That's it?
And yeah, and they're like, here's your new identity, here's your new whatever, you can just get out of here and don't ever come back. And so they stage this whole thing inside this town. So I don't know if they're gonna like kill. So the first issue basically just sets it all up.
What?
The issue just basically sets it all up and then introduces you to all the families, all of the weapons, and then like all of the
rules of the game.
rules of the game and all of the participants.
Okay, cool.
And there's
Does
like
that
one,
in 50 pages? Wow.
yeah. There's like one murder that happens at the end, and so somebody's already out.
Wow.
And then like in the back of
Does
it,
each family only get one person?
yes,
Yes.
okay.
yeah.
You
And
have
they
your
get like a year,
champion.
so they draw. Yeah, it's their champion, and they draw the card like a year in advance, so they have the time, so they know what they need, so they can go out and either train somebody or find somebody or whatever.
So one poor champion just gets a rope, and another guy gets a knife and a gun?
Right.
Wow.
And then, like, at the end of it, they have, like, the little brackets.
Wow. Little bracket.
Oh,
for
yeah.
all
The
of
March
the-
Madness.
for all of the- And what else was I going to say that
I don't
was
know.
interesting?
Think about that.
Oh, so
I can't wait for the
so the
extended
whole story
hardcover
is like
of this.
one of the families, an older lady. She's like trying to recruit this guy to be her fighter, right?
Okay.
So she's telling him, introducing him to everything.
What weapon does he get?
I think he has the gun.
Oh, that's pretty good. Easy
Yeah,
to
that's a
recruit.
good
Like,
one.
You get
It's a
the
good
gun.
one to
Everybody else
have
gets
as
a
the
knife
gun.
or a rope or fire.
And there's like
I
arrows.
kind of like the fire though. Yeah, I could
There's
do
like
some stuff with this.
arrows.
Do they get a bow and
So
an arrow, or just
she's
a
like
arrow?
trying to talk him into this, right? She
Okay.
wants to hire him to represent her family.
Gotcha.
And he says at one point, like, well, why would anybody in their right mind like want to do
Yeah, why
this?
would they?
And she's like, well, most of them aren't really in their right mind. They're all crazy. They're all like crazy serial killer murderers or whatever that they
makes sense.
recruit. But if they lose, the 13 families will pay $1 million to anybody that they want. So like if they die, anybody they choose gets $1 million. And then the winner gets like $1 million or $5 million. I can't remember whatever, but if the winner wins money. So
Nice.
that's
everybody
like,
gets money.
everybody gets money.
You can't spend it because you're dead,
Right.
but you get it.
Right, but you can pass it on to somebody. But
I
I
don't
thought
really like anybody that
the art's
That's
really
right.
cool. The way he laid it out. I mean, Tynion is so good, right?
He's pretty good.
He's-
He
He
is.
just-
He
I
is
mean,
one of the better writers.
We
right
talk
now.
about like how Robert Kirkman has it down. We talk about how like Hickman has it down.
Yeah.
like
Lemire.
Lemire, right?
has-
Like
has
Tynion's
the
on the
best.
top of his game, right? Like
Yeah.
he paces it perfectly. He introduces the families. Like he's telling you the backstory, so you're learning everything.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, like the first kill happens at the very end, and then you're ready to jump right in. My issue, I don't know, like how long can you drag this out, right? Like, is that all it is? Is the contest?
I think so.
You know,
I think that's okay. You could probably do 15. Well, the way
Hunger,
Tynion writes,
Hunger
you could
Games
probably
did
do-
it 3 times.
Jesus, I
So
don't know though. You know, I don't. But that's what's interesting. Like, if they get finished with this, and then the family takes over, like you could open up a whole new world, right?
You
Like,
could.
sort of, kind of, and maybe make it interesting or whatever. But
Maybe.
I don't know.
I would think it's just supposed to be this game. Though.
Right. Exquisite Corpses.
You could do a cool twist where someone wipes out all the families at the end or something.
Right.
You know, you can do some cool stuff.
Yeah. Very, very cool. I think both of you guys would dig it. So, like, when it's ended or the first trade comes out, I'm sure you guys, or you'll buy it. And Scott will
Scott
read
doesn't
it,
buy
or-
anything.
I know. So, it's
touche.
probably my favorite thing that I read out of everything.
Cool.
So,
For the rest of your whole life?
well, no,
I'm
for
just
this
kidding.
podcast, for this review.
Sweet.